Hey everybody, hello my fellow combatants. It's another video with today's topic is punching bags. I actually like this topic. Um, so it'll probably be like, try to keep it under 10 minutes, the video. But uh, usually these videos are unscripted, so I'm just giving you my opinion on my own personal experiences when it comes to the usage of punching bags. I mean, punching bags are fun. Normally, at least in my nature, when I go somewhere and I see a punching bag just hanging there, for some reason I have a need to hit it. So, I see a punching bag, I want to punch it, I want to kick it, I want to do all kinds of shadow boxing around it. It's just in my nature. I know a lot of people that I know as well. They just see a punching bag and they just want to start punching it. They don't have to be martial artists or anybody. It's just anybody. Anyways, so getting down to it. Um, First of all, usage of a punching bag. Um, the most common use for a punching bag is to develop your strength when punching. Now, most fighters, one way that we fight is we have sparring partners. We have fellow practitioners that practice with us in the martial arts. Boxers practice with other boxers. Now, normally we practice our technique, our speed, our accuracy. The thing is that now I don't speak for everybody. I speak for maybe most of us. We're not trying to hurt our our fellow practitioner, our buddy, our friend. We're not trying to hurt them when we're sparring. So instinctively we pull back when it comes to using our full strength. So when you have a punching bag, you have a reason to unleash. You have an excuse to unleash and hit it with all your power, all your strength. Obviously, worst case scenario, you punch it so hard that the chain breaks and it falls down, which does happen. So, when you buy a punching bag, obviously you have to make sure that when you hang it, make sure you use a good chain, make sure you use good hooks. Don't just get whatever you think is going to hold a punching bag, especially depending on the weight of the punching bag. You can't just get any equipment. You got to get the proper equipment. And obviously, if you need to know what that is, whenever you go to like a Best Buy or you go to a sporting good place, ask. Ask them. Most of the time, the punching bag will come with this equipment, but if you're buying separate equipment for a punching bag, for example, I have a 100-pound punching bag at home that I bought without the equipment. So I need to go buy a chain and hooks. So when I go over there, I need to let the person know, hey, I need a sturdy chain. I need tough hooks that can withstand more than 100 pounds of weight. And you gotta say more than 100 pounds of weight because when you start hitting it and punching it and kicking it, depending on the strength of your strikes, that's how much weight you're adding to to those hooks, to that chain. So that's one. Now, so like I was talking about, the first one is strength building. You build up your strength when you're hitting a punching bag, and a lot of people think that's the only reason why. Now, I went online and I looked up why people punch a punching bag. Out of curiosity, what does Safari think? And they have some pretty good answers. One of the main things is for health, building your endurance, building your stamina. Of course, you're hitting it with all your power. All if you're incorporating all your speed, you're building your endurance and your stamina. It's good for your body. Whenever you punch a punching bag, you contract your muscles, so you're building strength. You're toning your muscles. That's very true. But I guess what I want to add to that is a lot of the technique and the fighting aspect to it. Obviously, endurance and stamina is one of the biggest things you need for fighting, speed and your strength as well. But another thing you need to learn about using a punching bag, to become a better fighter, one, it's distance. So it's obvious that when a punching bag is standing still and you start hitting it, you're in a distance where if you're with an opponent, your opponent can hit you back. So one thing a punching bag can help you out with is that you can actually, distance yourself away from the punching bag and then try to see at what point can you still hit a bag beating at your furthest distance. In other words, how much distance do you need where you can still close the gap? So if I'm 1 foot away from the punching bag and I can charge it and attack it and hit it at a high speed, okay, so I'm safe 1 foot away where I can still attack. So then I'm going to challenge myself. What if I'm 2 feet away from a punching bag? Now, I don't have it to demonstrate, but I probably will make a video where I'm demonstrating striking a punching bag and moving back at a further distance from that bag to see where my limit is. My limit could be being 3 feet away, where from 3 feet I can still, strike at it and hit it with a good amount of power, with enough speed that it's still a reliable punch. And then maybe after that, I'll be too far away where I won't even reach it. Same thing with your kicks. If you're gonna be practicing your kicks, you want to see how much distance you need to close that gap, and you can use a punching bag for that because that way you can see how much power. You can still add all that power, but you want to see how far away you can attack from. And I'll give a demonstration to illustrate exactly what I'm talking about if it's not that clear. Now another one, and this is something that I tell a lot of people that ask me questions about training, sparring, and about hitting the bags, especially because a little side note, whenever I used to join a gym, one of the things I would look for is to see if they had punching bags. I normally wouldn't join a gym if it didn't have a punching bag, because that's one thing I don't have at home, and that's one thing that in order for me to use it at my training facility, I would have to go during the hours that they're open. So back then I would choose a gym that already has punching bags so that I know I can train in that category if I needed to, whenever I wanted to. So one thing that people would ask me while I would be training and they see me hitting the bag is they would just ask me for tips. And one of the biggest tips I would tell them is that when you start striking a punching bag, strike it slow. Get the feel of what you're punching, because most fighters, an example is when they get in a fight. When they get in a fight and they punch somebody, they're thinking to themselves, okay, well, I'm pretty strong, I'm pretty fast. They hit somebody in the face and they either break their hand, they break one of their metacarpals, or they sprain their wrist really bad and it gets all swollen. That happens because you don't know your moment of impact. With a punching bag, you can actually start training that moment of impact, knowing when to tighten, when to loosen up. Sometimes this happens when you hit a bag and you hit it incorrectly. This happens. Or worse, this happens, where your wrist just goes like this. And you get like a shock right here where you basically, after that, when you want to hit the bag, you get you get a little bit scared. You get a little trauma there where you don't want to punch the bag anymore. So my tip is hit it slow and start building up that moment of impact so you don't sprain your wrist. Now, if you're into boxing or you go to the gym and you're just there to punch the bag, most people, they take bag gloves. Bag gloves usually have something in the middle here so you can grab onto so that your wrist doesn't do that. And when you take that off, you have more flexibility. You want to limit the flexibility with a bag glove. There's nothing wrong with using a bag gloves, using hand wraps, using boxing gloves. I mean, honestly, I buy those as well to use them. But to be realistic, when you get in a, if, and hopefully you never do get in a fight, you're not going to have that equipment with you. You're going to be punching with your fist. So your your fist, your wrist, your forearms need to know what it feels like to make impact with something. Another thing is, when you hit a punching bag, you're not always going to hit the same strength. The lower you go on the punching bag, punching wise, the harder it gets because of gravity. Everything that's in that punching bag is going to be centered there. Now, some punching bags, they're made to where they have most of that weight in the center of the bag, the newer ones. But if you have an older one like I do, a lot of that weight, you feel it on the bottom of the punching bag. And just like a normal person, when if you're to get in a fight, they're gonna feel different in different areas. They might have a strong chest, they might have a weak stomach, they might have a strong stomach, they might have a weak arm, they might have a strong chin, they might have a weak nose. Most of us have a weak nose. So when you're punching, you're gonna be punching with no gloves, and you're gonna be punching somebody who, you don't know the areas you're punching. You don't know what they feel like until you actually make impact. So it's always good to test out the bags, so that way you train your wrist, you train your hands to absorb that impact. That way it doesn't come to a shock to you the moment you actually have to use them. But all in all, a punching bag is a great tool for training. So we talked about, building your strength, closing the gap with a punching bag, and then just having knowledge of that moment of impact with your wrist and your fist and your wrist, so to prevent injury. Obviously, there's a lot more benefits to in a punching bag. You can look it up online. You can look up other YouTubers, how they talk about all the usage of a punching bag. These are just a few of them that have worked out for me. And to this day, I usually hit a punching bag with my fist, and already have an idea of how to hit it without getting hurt. And that just takes practice. It's nothing special. It just means, you just do it on a daily basis, create a routine for yourself. Also if you're a martial artist and have a variety of moves, you want to be able to see if you can add impact to all those moves. And a punching bag is a great tool, to start off with. Obviously, when you have a training partner, then you start incorporating the whole idea of watching out for your opponent's knees and their elbows, which can also, injure you if you hit your opponent in the wrong areas. But that would be once you start, training with a sparring partner. Usually a punching bag, you're not going to have those sharp points that a body has. All right, guys. So leave your comments, leave your likes, leave your dislikes. For some reason, I can't see the dislikes on YouTube. I guess that's like a thing they have now, where you can't see your dislikes. I enjoy the dislikes. I want to see what people think of what I say. Maybe in some cases I'm not clear on what things I'm trying to explain here on YouTube. That's why I say leave comments so I can answer questions. I have I always welcome them. I'm really easy to critique. I'm really good at taking constructive criticism. Like I said, I'm a martial artist just like anybody else who's just trying to better their technique, which is mostly what a martial artist and a fighter tries to do, is always be prepared and always be always be training, helping your body, helping your health, and helping your technique. It's always good to have that confidence, knowing that if you're in a bad situation, you can at least defend yourself for the most part. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.